away now from the start of the county championship, we've already seen some county streams of some really, really cold cricketers in late March playing the first pre-season games, and I've loved it. I've been glued to the county streams. To be fair, I prefer county cricket over international cricket, which seems absolutely crazy. What are you looking forward to?
Just the fact of having a proper county championship back, even though I know it has its faults, and just having a full season of county championship cricket will be really lovely again. I know that there's still question marks about when us fans can get back, but the fact that we're going to have an uninterrupted season just already makes it 10 times better than last year already. So that will just be really nice because it's the heart of the English summer, especially for people like us, isn't it, Ben?
Definitely, and I'm really hoping that Sussex have had 6 months to work on their stream, because their streaming service at Sussex seems to be quite a frustration most games, with it going down quite often. Although so many other counties done such a great job, but yeah, it is the heart of my summer. I know that sort of like as soon as the fixtures come out, sort of like how excited I am. Obviously, it's a bit of a strange one because it would be sort of like, what outgrounds am I going to? Where do we want to go to this year? However, we don't know yet when we'll be back. Obviously, it looks likely to be more towards the T20s as the first kind of games. But then how many of us, we don't know. But to be honest, if I get out to one game this season, it's one more than we did in 2020. So everything's a winner there. I'm kind of hopeful and looking forward to seeing how the county championship split up this season. I've, for once, been a big believer that every county should go into the county championship with a chance of being county champions. I appreciate that we're not going to have one division ever again, which we shouldn't have, but I think this format has the potential to be really good. However, now it's actually happened, I am a bit worried that it's going to go awful wrong and I'm going to hate it and then we're going to get stuck with it. But
Yeah.
obviously, I can't remember a season when we didn't have a change of our schedule. That's what cricket's about, isn't it? Asking for schedule changes and then moaning about them when they happen and we don't like it.
That's exactly true, isn't it? I think, to be honest, we've said a lot about this in the last year about, and I feel like it's a bit of a broken record because us fans always say it, but cricket does need to reform with county cricket. It needs to be ever evolving and show more innovative new ideas. And to be honest, I'm just quite surprised that the ECB has signed this off and that they're willing to give it a try and try something different. So I think we have to support them in those efforts, and we'll see it. And I think as long as it brings about more of a meritocracy in cricket, where if you work hard, you get results on the pitch, you can become the champions of your country, then I don't see anything wrong with that. And if it brings a more competitive element, hopefully that will even bring about a slight upturn in numbers, because nobody really in the best world of the world wants to go and watch a second division dead rubber game. They want to watch people being able to. So I wouldn't know what the second division's like, obviously. But you don't worry. Of course, I would love to go to that. I was just a cheap dig at the Sussex members of our podcast. But yeah, I think anything that, as you rightly said, competitizes cricket, makes it more interesting, even though we will find it interesting anyway. It's an improvement and something that I think we should be willing to give a chance to. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, and I'm really sort of like hopeful that, given the fact that this is not a restricted season but a very different season based with COVID, that there will be sort of like an allowance if it does go wrong, to then go back to the two divisions. I know there's a lot of supporters, especially I believe it was, I might be wrong here, but I believe it was Northampton here who got promoted to Division 2, and they're now still waiting for that long waited return to the top division now for a second year. And obviously them being really excited at getting that chance at Division 1. But I do feel, and maybe it's just because of the fact that Sussex can't get out of Division 2 now, but does seem to be there's a massive difference as I go to neutral games all over the country. There's a big difference between the top of Division 1 and the very bottom of Division 2 in terms of just skill set, and also you look at counties and actually they know there are some counties they just don't put together a team now for the county championship, and they do focus so much solely on the white ball. Sussex are in a way like that, where they do have this sort of like franchise-esque T20 side. But I do think that given the fact that you have all got at the start of the year, you've got that chance to win, just means for me it's going to be a little bit exciting until the day 2 of the first game when Jimmy Anderson has probably knocked over Sussex for 47 and 72, and we've lost by innings. But it's nice now, a week to go, that we still have that little bit of faith.
Exactly. I mean, I did find it funny earlier when you said about you hope Sussex had given a lot of time in the last few months to improving their video streaming. If I'm totally honest, I just hope Hampshire have given time in the last few months to improve their batting. So, but we all have different wants and needs. But yeah, what I find as well, and you see this hopefully with what we try to convey in this podcast, is it's a great time. And I think cricket is the only one that really produces this year in, year out. It's the first 2 days of spring now. The cricket season just around the corner. Also, with COVID, it happens to be the restrictions are beginning to ease. It's all it's going to be a nice summer, and we're going to have a full cricket season. The little banter that we have between each other, and cricket fans and badges all around the country in their different counties will have. That's great for cricket. It's great for life to have that, in our lives. So I'm looking forward, even though it sounds a bit cheesy and emotional, I'm looking forward to just having it part of our conversation again, part of being what is such a massive part of our lives, because that's why it's the greatest sport this country has and the world's ever produced, because it produces camaraderie and spirit and banter like none other.
Yeah, exactly. And sort of like, I know sort of like the banter, like we say about, and we also always joke about, and these obviously between Sussex and Hampshire, but actually there'd be nothing better for me to go out Hove than if James Vince hits 120 against Sussex, and it'd be like, well, I've seen one of the best batsmen, not England's best batsman because he wouldn't be in my team, but one of the best batsmen in the country playing some great cricket. So that's really, I feel like you don't get that in other sports. It's sort of like, like football. I lost my love for football because it was just so too competitive between people. And it was just actually just really looking forward to going out and seeing cricket, and hopefully we see a lot in this summer. Definitely more than last year.
To be fair, though, I would just caution you to say, if that dream happens of Vince hitting 120, you'll probably get a tap on your shoulder and see me giving you 2 big thumbs up, and then you might reconsider going back to football and ditching cricket. So just, don't rest on your laurels quite yet. But I digress. I mean, joking aside, I think it's just great to have that back, and that's a great thing with cricket. If, for example, any sort of player like Delroy Rawlings, I love watching for Sussex, goes and gets a great innings, I'm actually going to stand and applaud that, and I'm actually going to be like, I'm really grateful to be here to watch that. Whereas in football or other sports, and I love my football, but it's a dirty word. You can't say that another side has done well, or, oh, that was a great goal. It's sacrilege. You'd be banned for saying that. So I love the respect that fans get, and fans get a bit leery and banterish, but there is always that level of respect. And I want to go back and watch the top cricketers in this country at their craft and watch them go to work, and that's going to be amazing and a real joy.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, to put you on the spot when we do early season, we see how we go. So if we go through the competition, are we going to put out as a winner early on? So T20 Blast. I can go first while you're thinking. T20 Blast. We've got to win it eventually with the squad we've got. It's got to be Sussex for me.
Do you know what? I'm really glad you went first, because it just delays your reaction a little bit more. And I can't believe I'm saying this, and subscribers of the show will know that it really pains me to say this, but I honestly do think Sussex on paper should be at least in the discussion to be favourites. Yeah, I can't really look beyond them, but let's just move on because I don't want to talk about that. But yes.
Well, one day cup, I've not got a clue. This season's one day cup is going to be really strange, given we've got that other tournament, the 100, coming on. I did have. I'm really looking forward to the 100, although they've disappointed, their marketing teams disappointed me in the last week, so I'm not looking forward to it as much now. Needless to say, without digressing and going on to a bit of a break, bought 2 tickets last season for Southern Brave, and I got an email saying it's the rebuy window. Come and buy your tickets. Couldn't get onto the site. Got onto the site, and it was sold out. How could it be a rebuy window? Because surely the purpose is to rebuy the tickets that I had last year.
A lot of people having issues with that as well. You're not the first one to say that to me.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be shouting out the 100 now. But so one day cup, the only reason why I'm going to go for this team out of any of the counties, I'm going to go for Northamptonshire, because I believe, if I'm right thinking about the draft, only 1 or 2 of their players got called up to the 100. So I'm basically going with the fact that most teams are going to have second 11s out. Northamptonshire are going to be pretty strong. They're going to be my early season, pre-season winners for the One Day Cup.
That's it. That's a very interesting debate, actually, and I like your logic on that, because I forget that the 100 really impinges on the schedule for the 50 over cup. I'm going to go for similar reasons, but almost slightly different. And this is one that will pains me to say even more than Sussex, because there's no county I despise more than Surrey. For some weird reason, I actually quite like having a rivalry with Sussex, but Surrey, they're just like the Man City. They just, they gloat, and they're just, when they're good, they're too good, and it just annoys me. But I do think that we're seeing the 50 over competition now, whether it's right or wrong, the 100's happening now, and the 50 over cup will become a bit more like what I think an under 23s or reserves cup becomes in football, where you will see the academies using some of their players more now. And I just go with Surrey. They've got a very, very good Eve set up. And I mean, you just look at some of the players, the Curran brothers is all you need to know about who they have produced and who's come up through their academy in the last decade. And they'll have a couple of good, proper county players who will stick around. So, yeah, I would say they would probably have a good chance of going to the latter stages. So, yeah, Surrey for me.
And the county championship is probably the hardest one to predict. I'm going to avoid going Essex. I would say Somerset, but they'd never win it. It's like they'll be second. I've got Somerset down at second, probably the most surest bet in county cricket. But my winner, I'm going to go just to the news that Joe Root's playing the first couple of games, so they're going to have a bit of a head start there. So I'm going to go Yorkshire, because they're going to start their season with Joe Root and David Milan in their batting order. So I think, yeah, they're probably my slight favourites, or the one I've just plucked from the air.
I think that's a very good shout. And I think Yorkshire are a bit like what we see with India in international cricket. They've got a great conveyor belt of talent, exactly the same as Surrey. But I know it's boring to say this, but I honestly do think Essex are building a bit of a dynasty at Chelmsford. And there's something about them. And also, if you've got Sir Alistair Cook opening the batting for the county championship, you really should be favourites, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that should be worth a points deduction on its own, shouldn't it?
Exactly, and you go to Essex and you're scared of playing them almost. The only other thing is the only other county that it pains me to say, because my cousins support them, is Kent, and I always think they could be in the conversation, because they've just got Denley, who are probably playing more county champs now than he would have last year or a couple of seasons ago, and they just almost seem to make Canterbury a bit of a fortress. So there's someone in the conversation.
I think they've got quite a young all-rounder just starting to sort of like come into his prime, isn't they? And Darren Stevens as well.
Doesn't look a day over 41. But then again, he's somebody which in any other country he wouldn't be playing this long. But it's something with English pitches, English conditions. He's that sort of dobber, but he's so consistent. And I'd be more scared facing him in county champs than I would Archer. That's a statement. I would, because I know that he just allows batsmen to get into a false sense of security. They play bad shots. He traps them LB, whatever he does, and his record will speak for itself when he finally hangs up his boots in 2045. So but great player.
Yeah, so we will eventually see over the summer how wrong probably we both are. If not, but obviously that's the good thing about county cricket. If especially this year, all 18 teams, all 18 counties have got a chance to win all 3 competitions. And if we are, we got to mention 100 just to be nice. Your 100 favourites?
I like I think it's Manchester Originals. Mm-hmm. They're building a good side, but I must admit that the side I know the most about would be the Southern Brave, because it's our team, and I just think we just really have chosen very wisely. I mean, we got David Warner opening, whose conversion rate is the best in limited overs cricket. Anyway, you got Jofra, you've got a lot of the Sussex boys, who I must admit really do impress me in white ball cricket. You've got Vincey, who I can't wait to see play in the 100, and
Rawlings, I believe.
Rawlings, yeah, Dawson, who would be great at the bowl pitch. I just really see strength and depth, the way they can construct an innings, defend totals. I mean, I don't know what it'll be like at home, and a lot of it is we're not going to know what it looks like until we see it, 100 game. But I honestly think they've got a great chance of making the Ageas Bowl their fortress, their palace, and wouldn't be surprised to see them in the final. But I must just add, I do like how the 100, they are going for good T20 blast talent. For example, Chris Wood, who's Hampshire's left arm seamer, sort of medium fast, he'll never play for England. He'd admit this himself, but he's got a great consistent record for Hampshire. And London Spirit, the Lord's team, have snapped him up this year. So it's good that they're not just going for this superstar talent. They're also really delving into the T20 Blast, which has been a great competition with really good, consistent English performances. And it's giving those sort of players who will never grace the T20 World Cup or an international stage the respect and profile they deserve. So that is one thing that has made me swing in the way of liking the 100 and the concept of it. Hopefully we can see some of that great talent, county talent, that we've all been chatting about, us Badgers, for years.
Definitely. And obviously if every team's still got a chance to pick that one other player from the Blast this year as well. So you've got 8 more to add into it. Obviously I won't ask you who's not been selected, who you'd like to see play, because obviously it's quite hard knowing who and what and where with everyone. But the one player I think has been overlooked, and he is a Sussex player, obviously, but he's the highest ever wicket taker in T20 cricket. Might have the Cricket Diaries logo on his bat in 2021 as well, so obviously it would be helpful going to a global audience, although he doesn't really bat much, so might be a bit of a strange decision, but will be. I think
I knew you were going to say this. Go on.
Yeah, I just feel like he's actually a really good leg spin bowler in T20 cricket, and he just takes wickets and keeps it tight. And if you only got 20 balls, or you need somebody to bowl 10 balls, I would pick him.
Well, I like with him, and we've seen it because the other man actually has played for you guys, is always admired Danny Briggs and what he can do. And he is statistically our most successful bowler in domestic T20 cricket in this country. I think he's the highest wicket taker in the Blast history, and will almost seems like a bit of a mini me with the way he bowls, and yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if he was picked, and I think any team would be lucky to grace him. But what I like is it gives a competitive edge to the Blast, and players are really going to hunker down because they're like, oh, I can get on TV, I could get big money playing for this. This could really be a massive platform for my career. So the Blast isn't losing any of its edge. And players like Beale will just try and shine like they normally do and hopefully get under the noses of the selectors. So I think that's a really positive thing. But yeah, I'd love to see Will Beale in a Southern Braves shirt, I must admit.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all we've got going to have from the county cricket preview. But obviously, keep up to date with everything county cricket, especially this year, on the Cricket Diaries website. I have spent, again, a good amount of time, probably wasted time or sort of like free time on rebuilding the website for this year. Have daily content of my ramblings, as well as some well-structured articles from Chris Stallard on there. And we're hoping to feature guest writers throughout the year as well. But seriously, check us out. All the YouTube videos are going to be embedded into posts, and actually we're going to be looking at sort of like working with other cricket social channels, and basically we just want it to be a place where we can just hang out and obviously get the latest news, but also sort of like the views from cricket supporters rather than just sort of like the BBC News, Sky Sports of the world, because they do offer really great analysis. But actually, sometimes it can be over analysis, and sometimes there's not really a voice for supporters, people like me and George as well, who love the game. And obviously, if you want to get involved, just obviously give us a shout on any of the social media channels, leave comments or message, and yeah, just get involved. What do you think of the site, George?
I absolutely love it, and I think we're really making a concerted effort where we know how affected cricket was by COVID, like all sports last year. We're making a real effort to make sure we give you content every day, every week. This podcast is going to be running throughout the summer, and I know it's cheesy, folks, but this is your space, and this is all for you, and we are just like you guys. I mean, you're probably a lot cooler than me, all of you, but you know, we all love cricket. It's our lives, and yeah, we want to hear your voices, your opinions, and that's what it is. So yeah, this is the most amazing collaborative space, and let's just keep building on what we are, which is a great cricketing community for people who love this game.
Yeah, definitely, and thank you for that. And this, obviously, we'd be happy to go on other podcasts as well. We catch up about that in a little bit. But yeah, seriously, if you want to be involved, if you can shy, it doesn't matter. If you're good at writing, if you're good at doing posts or memes, whatever you would like. Actually, to be honest, it's been a real tough last sort of like 18 months, and sort of like this started as a sort of like as a way to document my cricket journey in 2019, and kind of that hit a kind of sort of like stumbling block with COVID got in the way a little bit, because I've been to Sussex, I've been to Northampton, I've been to Lords, I've been to Yorkshire. This is what Lancashire's like. That kind of stopped last year for obvious reasons, but actually what we've got now is far better, and we're getting the community, and it's all about sort of like shouting out and just having cricket chat with anyone or anyone. So and I have great fun, and I know George and Chris does as well, sort of like doing stuff, and it doesn't feel like work. It's a hobby at the end of the day. So yeah, please get in touch.
Exactly.
And,
We're always here to listen to your love of cricket. You know, I know what it's like to be in a house ruled by football or other sports, or where cricket isn't necessarily cool. But here, cricket always rules what we do. And you know, I always do think that this podcast is about giving people advice and tips. So what I will say, and I'll leave you on this, Ben, is get your bets on now for Hampshire to win the county championship. That's 12-1, because we all know that batsmen down at home are going to have sleepless nights about facing Carl Abbott and Mohammed Abbas. So you know, learn from us, get your money. Hampshire to win the county champ. Bye bye from me.
to be honest, that is some bowling. That is some bowling, isn't it? Especially at the Rose Bowl.
I wasn't going to mention it, but I thought I'm like a kid in a sweet shop when I heard that news, and I've been giddy ever since. And I just had to tell you all that before we go because
Mm,
you're thinking it.
mm. And just quickly, so what we've been up to. So we've been really active in some cricket social groups. So if you check out is it the Spirit of Cricket on Facebook?
Yes, it is. Great group, led by some great guys, especially Mr. WG Rumble Pants. Dave is a lovely man, and he runs the group there with James Billington. Some great guys in the cricket community. And if you ever want a space to talk about cricket, we're always active on there. And it's about building a community. For me, I went through a lot of tough times in my life in the last few years, and cricket really helped me. And I wouldn't be doing this podcast, all of this, without being in those groups and building that community. So if you ever want to make cricket your life or continue your passion, just let us know and we will push you in the right direction. Come with us on this amazing journey. Long live cricket.
Definitely. And how's your preparation been for the new cricket season?
I actually went and I've been doing my power walks, and I went and did the solitary net with my brother the other day, and it's just really got my juices flowing. And what I find really funny is my family don't really understand it, but I just we were having a family dinner the other night, and I'm just practicing my leave just like that, just when I'm walking around the house. And I'm a tail ender where I don't practice my forward defence, so I don't practice my pull shots. I practice my leave. But yeah, we got a few more weeks to go, but I cannot wait for that. And yeah, it's just gonna be amazing. I'm playing in Hampshire this year for my beloved Newport Inn Cricket Club. I'm also playing in Sussex, where I have a lot of friends for Lewis Priory. So I'm really going to be able to play in my two favourite places, Hampshire and Sussex. And yeah, if you're all like me, county cricketers, or you're not like me, you're like village cricketers like me, or any level, you all know how amazing it is to dun those whites. And yeah, I can't wait to play again. Best sport them.
Definitely. And I'll definitely be hoping to polish a bat and get out there again in the summer. I'm literally nomadic in my sort of like, I will, if you need a spare fielder, I will turn up and I will do my best at throwing the ball back. I can't bat or I can't bowl, so I am restricted in my impact in the team. However, as when I played my first game last year, one of the comments that was given to me was the opposing team don't know that you can't field or do anything very well. They just don't see the gap, so they won't hit it there for four. So sort of like at the end of the day, even if you do that, it's better than nothing. And actually, I had such a great time, and I really hope that I'll be able to play this season again, sort of like health permitting for me. I'm just waiting for some sort of like the okay from the cardiologist, but you'd think sort of like long-term health or sort of like can I work properly or what other things could I do would be priority when sitting down in front of a cardiologist with a heart condition. My first question was, can I play cricket at the moment this summer? And if not, when can I? that was the
priority of all priorities in my books. I'm glad you asked the question.
that was the two questions, and I was just sort of like, if the tests go okay, you'll be able to, but not at the moment. Okay, cool. When would I be able to go back to work? Was the second was the question after that.
That's the correct order.
But also, as we said about sort of like doing other podcasts, I was lucky enough to be invited on the Let's Talk Sports, Let's Talk Cricket podcast
Great podcast.
over the weekend. Dan is an absolute great guy. We found out about Dan through the Facebook group. So please, the Spirit of Cricket, check it out. It's an amazing group. Really friendly people in there. The only thing you've got to do is abide by the Spirit of Cricket, which I'm sure for the right people is so easy. You can't get that wrong, really. But yeah, seriously, Let's Talk Sports. Check it out. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel on our YouTube video down below. Really great. So Dan is disabled and what he does, and obviously I know from just doing this, it's can be quite time consuming, but the amount of content he puts out on all different sports is sensational. He's a really lovely guy as well. So please check that out. And we're just building up now for next week to come around the 8th of April, and then all systems go.
And get your bets on Hampshire for that county championship win.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for checking in. And hopefully next time we'll be checking in. We'll have some cricket to talk about in this country. And obviously catching up on a 2-1 England ODI win.
Keep those fingers crossed.